Hey man, say man, we here with another reaction. Today we also have another one. We have the Fox Sports allegations explained. This was the shortest video I could find on this. Every other video was like 30 plus minutes. What I know about this so far is the executive producer, Joy Taylor, apparently was sleeping around with each other, which is how she got her position at the at Fox Sports. Then and apparently they both were married at the time. And all this is, and then what was it? A hairdresser. The hairdresser is the one who made the allegations, and she also said Skip was like coming on to her. She didn't like that. He even offered like 1.5 million to like sleep with her, and she was like no. And he was like, I could change your life, and stuff like that. As far as I know, that's all I know. That's all the information that was put out there. But let's get into it, man. Let's see if he give me some extra information.
What the hell is going on at Fox Sports? I'm sure by now you've heard of the bombshell lawsuit that just dropped on some of the biggest stars in sports media. But what if I told you that these allegations may be even worse than you think? Now, at the end of the day, these are just allegations, so pump the brake before you pass any judgment. But that didn't stop the internet from putting Joy Taylor on blast after the allegation arose that she slept her way to the top. Now, these allegations are stemming from a former hairdresser at Fox Sports who filed a lawsuit against Fox Corporation and separate Fox entities, basically the entire network. On top of that, defendants being formally charged in the lawsuit include Charlie Dixon, who is the executive vice president of content, who has worked at the company for the last decade, Skip Bayless, who made his exit from the company in an oddly quiet fashion for how loud he typically is in August of last year, and finally, Joy Taylor, the former host of Skip and Shannon Undisputed and current host of the program Speak. Now, this hairdresser by the name of Nushin Faraji has made some serious
Nushin
allegations of
Faraji.
sexual harassment and sexual battery, on top of other insane criminal and deranged actions going on behind the scenes at what's supposed to be America's sports network. Now, Faraji was indeed a hairdresser for Fox who worked part-time from 2012 until 2016 when she shifted full-time, and at this time, Fox was making quite the splash. After Skip Bayless had decided to leave ESPN, basically marking the end of the golden years of First Take, Skip would team up with Shannon Sharpe to form essentially a spin-off of the format. Now, no show on the network, other than just live sports, was capable of making as much noise as Skip and Shannon Undisputed. But similar to
True.
First Take, this wasn't just a two-man show. Every show, of course, needs their female host to introduce the topics and moderate the screaming match, where in came Joy Taylor. This one was out of left field. Taylor at the time was a bartender and a radio host that had very little TV experience and was only available to fill any necessary spaces at Fox when under unusual circumstances. When advertised that Fox was looking for a woman to co-star with substantial work history on television, red flags were raised. This is where
Yeah.
Faraji's allegations claim to connect the dots. Faraji and Taylor had worked together in the past and seemed to have been friends out of the workplace. Faraji's Instagram is filled with pictures of Taylor's hair, which certainly is
As it
typical of
should
any
be.
hairdresser. But Faraji also claims that Joy and herself would frequently meet up for drinks. However, Joy wouldn't show up alone. Charlie Dixon would often accompany Joy, and gave the impression that the two were sleeping together, according to Faraji, while both Joy and Dixon were married. At the time, Faraji wasn't
I mean, that makes sense in a way because it's like if you're hiring somebody who has little to no TV experience and they just got the job out of probably all the other people who have the experience, it's kind of hard to not look at that and be like, they do it, something's going on because you hire someone who's a bartender, a radio host, and someone who really doesn't have TV experience. So it's like red flags should have been raised there. I'm pretty sure there was like other women, and he probably is just like, hey, listen, if you want this part, you got to do something. And they probably was like, nah. So he probably hit up Joy, or he probably got the Joy, and Joy was like, okay, I'm willing to do whatever. So, oh no.
even aware of Dixon's position at the company until telling Joy that she had seen the man who buys them drinks in the elevator at the office. Now, Joy shushed her to keep her quiet and told her not to worry about the situation despite the risks associated. But it all made sense when in July 2016, Joy had risen from the bottom to the top, going from a fill-in character on set with no full-time position to the host of what was set to be the biggest hit to date. At the time, Skip allegedly did not want Joy to host the show. Skip was the bigger name in sports media in 2016, although Unk has certainly outgrown him at this point, and getting the okay from Skip, who had just signed a $32 million deal with FS1,
Mm.
was a necessity. So at a dinner between the two, Joy dressed and acted very provocatively towards Skip, as a way to win him over or to at least get the okay to host the show. And after being requested by Charlie Dixon, Skip gave Joy the okay from him. Now, of course, as Undisputed launched, the show was a major hit that launched Joy Taylor into stardom, as well as expanding the careers of Skip and Shannon. Faraji agreed to continue doing hair for Taylor throughout the show, and began doing Skip's hair as well. Not too long after the show's initial debut, a birthday party was held for Joy where both Charlie Dixon and Faraji attended. Now, this is where things escalate quickly.
Okay.
Faraji alleges that Dixon got piss-faced at the party and approached her while standing near the bar. Dixon tried to conversate and asked if she wanted a drink and began to grab her lower back, then started groping up her ass. Faraji then went to Taylor, not knowing who else she could report this to, before Taylor responded, "Get over it." Taylor expressed that she only had her job because of Dixon, and Faraji only had her job because of Taylor. And with one swing of the magic wand, Dixon could take both away in a second.
True.
Faraji then approached another coworker who stayed anonymous in the lawsuit, but stated that Mr. Dixon was disgusting and the situation was sick. But given Fox's culture, Faraji should stay quiet, or like Joy told her, she would likely be out of a job very quickly. As a single mother with a little boy at home, Faraji chose to do so. Now, for the actions at the party, both Joy and Charlie are being...
Okay, that's a tough situation. It's always tough when you have a child to think about. I don't have any kids, but it's always tough when you have children to think about, because it's like, if you're single, have no kids, then it's like, okay, fine, I can lose this job and get something else to just support me. But when you have kids and you're probably making some pretty good money, it's kind of rough on making your decision, because it's like you could report it, lose your job, but then it's like you still got the little one to think about. So it's a tough situation to be put in.
sued. But this doesn't end the allegations placed on Joy Taylor. Faraji alleges that Joy would only continue to sleep her way through Fox's ladder, with none other than Emmanuel Acho. Now today, Acho can be seen on the show Speak, formerly known as Speak for Yourself, which today features the likes of Acho, Joy Taylor, Keyshawn Johnson, and Paul Pierce, but formerly hosted by Jason Whitlock and Marcellus Wiley. Now in 2020, Whitlock would leave Fox Sports, leaving a spot for another host to slide in alongside Wiley, where Acho would slide in and begin to rapidly expand his career as a sports media figure. In 2020, Faraji also alleges that Taylor asked her to meet up for lunch in Beverly Hills, where, similar to Dixon, Taylor would be sitting next to Acho, and Faraji could tell that the two were romantically involved. Again, similar to Dixon, Faraji would see Acho around the office and ask Joy if he was employed at Fox, where Taylor confirmed she was hoping that Acho would recommend her to host the show Speak for Yourself. The show would make a slight rebrand, as they made some changes from the initial cast and renamed the show under the new name Speak, with their new host, Joy Taylor. Pictures have surfaced of Acho kicking the shoes off at Joy's crib, insinuating that the two were a little bit close for co-workers, as well as videos that show him a bit weirdly excited for his new host.
Just got done with rehearsal for the new show Speak, and I gotta take a moment to shout out my co-host Joy Taylor. A woman, a black woman, daily show, sports. Do you all realize how hard it is to get into the position that she is in?
It couldn't be too hard. I mean, she did you and the Dixon dude, so I mean, it couldn't be too hard, right? I mean, if all it takes is just sleeping with someone, it wasn't too hard. I mean, I'm just saying.
So often there's misogyny and sexism running rampant in sports, and we don't even care what women have to say in sports. But Joy is not only in the position on television as a woman, as a black woman, but as an opinionist. So not just asking men what they think, but providing her own unique and distinct insight. It's hard to do, and Joy, you have done it. So congratulations. Looking forward to working with you, and hope y'all tune in 4:30 to 6 Eastern every day starting next week.
Now snap back to 2020 as Faraji would discover that Taylor was having sexual relations with Acho and Dixon. She warned Taylor that if Dixon caught word of her relationship with Acho, it would be raps for her career, as Dixon was a very powerful man. But then Taylor explained that she was also now a very powerful woman, and once Dixon was no longer useful, she would follow through on her plan to tell the company that she forced himself onto her. She claims that other women prior had been forced out by Dixon, and through weaponizing false allegations would not allow herself to fall into the same trap. Although not at all incriminating, videos surfaced seeming to age poorly of Joy speaking on the work necessary to reach her position if these allegations are proved to be true.
How would I not know how hard it is to do the show I work on? You have to constantly reaffirm that you are good enough, that you belong there, and then always prove it. So I would just always say you gotta do twice the work to get half the opportunity. But that, to me, the mentality I've always had on it is that's just gonna make me better. So that's why I'm excellent. Because I had to be. I couldn't be average. I couldn't be okay. I couldn't be late. I couldn't complain. I couldn't say no. Now I do.
Now, this wraps up the gist of the allegations made on Taylor in the workplace. Through a class action lawsuit that has been filed against the entire company, in which anyone
Fox Corp must pay Smartmatic 2.7 billion defamation claim. God damn. 2.7 billion, not million, not 1,000, billion. Shit. That's a lot of money.
workers that have experienced acts of misconduct like Faraji alleges or other accusations such as failing to pay overtime wages and other compensation-based issues would be able to join in the lawsuit against the entity or individuals that were involved. There have been some notable figures that have came to the forefront regarding the lawsuit. Dave Portnoy has some history when it comes to these suits and took to Twitter to say, "My bullshit meter is on 100 million trillion in this Fox Sports lawsuit. Just accusing people of shit doesn't make it facts. Time will tell. I will say, I think all the accused shouldn't listen to their lawyers, plus should loudly be defending themselves if they are innocent.
No.
He's certainly right to withhold judgment until the facts are presented, although given his experience with faulty lawsuits as the head of a corporation, I don't really knock him for feeling the urge to speak his mind, as it's human nature to come to your own conclusions. While the former host of Speak for Yourself, Jason Whitlock, has certainly came to his own conclusions.
Attractive girl, Jason Taylor's sister. Hey, let's put her on radio. But she hadn't really done anything. But somehow, she's qualified to be the host of Undisputed, a debate show between Skip Bayless, who, like him or not, was an accomplished sports journalist for a time.
True.
And a Hall of Fame football player in Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp reached the top of the sports industry. Skip Bayless reached the top of the sports media industry. And Joy Taylor had done some radio work down in Miami. What does she have to offer? So how does she get that job? How does she even get that opportunity? Because she's got a big pair of cans, and she's, according to Sheen, she's willing to let people enjoy those big cans of hers.
Okay, Jason's a little wild. Like
Yeah.
I said earlier, outside of Joy, Skip Bayless would also request Faraji to do his hair for Undisputed, in which time she alleges Skip took a real liking to her. She claims Skip would get real touchy, giving her some strange hugs and kisses on the cheek. She claimed that Skip would go as far as to call her voluptuous. Skip took amused to her not understanding the word, as English was her second language, and told her to figure it out when she asked the meaning. The alleged advances would only get more direct and more aggressive, and what she interpreted as attempts to pressure her into a sexual relationship. Raji further alleges that when she rejected his advances in 2021, by reminding him of his marriage, he responded with an offensive comments about her Muslim heritage, suggesting her father had multiple wives. She reportedly informed him that her father had passed away, but the incident
Miss Faraji responded, stop, you have a wife. Mr. Bayless responded, aren't you Muslim? Doesn't your dad have 3 to 4 wives? Oh, Skip a bold man. That is bold to say. Doesn't your dad have 3 to 4 wives? Oh. Oh, man.
left a lasting impact. She would attempt to change topics away from inappropriate material while still meeting her job requirements, but states she was more so stuck in a hamster wheel of mistreatment. Faraji developed issues with her left ovary in 2021 and feared it could be cancer. She explained the
Damn.
circumstances to Skip in hopes that he would feel pity for her situation and cease the inappropriate advances, but this is where the allegations on Bayless get very bizarre. After receiving word of her potential cancer, she claimed Skip told her that he wanted to be with her, grabbed her hands, and began kissing them. Faraji panicked and began rambling that cameras were everywhere watching them. Skip then offered her $1.5 million to have sex with him, or she would make an excuse and leave. Now, this may be the most unusual allegation out of the entire lawsuit.
It
Not
is.
to say that the other allegations aren't damning and substantial, but this one was certainly the most out there. Many people online have said that the story is possible given that $1.5 million is pennies to Skip Bayless.
It really
And
is.
although the allegation is possible, Skip made $8 million per year before tax ate it up. $1.5 million isn't pennies to Skip Bayless. When tying in Skip Bayless into any mess, the man that will permanently be attached to his name is Stephen A. Smith, who had the following to say regarding his former co-host's allegations.
But we all know that when you see Stephen A. Smith with a subject like this and the name involves Skip Bayless, that's what you want to know about. And here's what I would tell you. I don't know what happened. But just like I said, I've known Jay-Z for 25 years. I can't imagine that. I've known Skip for just as long. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it. Especially when they brought up the $1.5 million. The Skip Bayless I know has a hard time giving away $15. He's one of the cheapest people I know. That's just me. But that doesn't mean that I have any inside knowledge about any of this. I don't, and I'm not going to get involved.
Stephen A. seemed to withhold
Good-
his judgment,
good answer.
while also holding on to the idea that he doesn't believe his friend was capable of this.
You know, and a lot of people need to take notes. Like when you have situations like this, sometimes it's best you just stay back. Like everybody wants you to get involved. They want you to have a say so. Like, oh, that's your friend. You know, you've known them for so long. You need to say something. And it's like, on this situation, no. Many of the situations I can speak on. This one, nah. Because then if I do have something to say or I do have an opinion to go towards it now, people are going to take that clip and probably translate it in our own words and be like, oh, so you're basically defending him. What if it come out and it's true? So, you know, I understand where Stephen A. coming from. It's difficult because it's like you want to say something, but you don't want to say something because you're afraid people might take it one way, and then, you know, it's risky. It's risky.
In the segment prior, he explained the flack he took when sticking up for Jay-Z when allegations were put his way. And similar to Skip, as many people have a disliking towards him, it seems in both cases there are groups of people who want these allegations to be true. Now, this is apples to oranges. I'm not saying Skip has any ties to any proven criminals, but the JC story is an example of how a largely disliked person can have their disliking justified by allegations, just for more information to come out, and kind of discredit some of the allegations as appears to be in his case. Now, Stephen A. seemed to be willing to stick his neck out a bit for Skip, but Skip's other old buddy didn't seem to be willing to do the same.
News of the day, absolutely, it doesn't. What y'all want me to say?
That ain't got nothing to do with us.
Yeah, that ain't got nothing to do with me. So there's nothing to address. I don't know why everybody if you notice, everybody's posted it. They got me. In the 42 pages, it don't mention nothing about Shannon Sharp did anything. But y'all want to get clicks, so y'all mention me.
Right.
He ain't lying.
Yep, ain't got nothing to do with us.
Unc is right here in that he was not accused of any wrongdoing in the case, but he was not fully correct about his name never being mentioned. Faraji alleges that Skip had misinterpreted the relationship between her and Shannon as sexual. Bayless would confront Faraji in a room loaded with microphones and even acknowledge that the room was bugged, but nonetheless would go on to complain to her that she can't be doing a big thing with my arch rival, and that he would hate for her to lose her job. She responded stating that she was just being polite to Shannon, in which Bayless responded, "Bullshit, bullshit, I'm calling bullshit on you." Skip further warned her of the possibility of losing her job over this, and stated, "I have love for you, and I have for 6 years, and you hurt me, and you are ruining this." Faraji reiterated that she has to be polite to everyone on set, in which
Right.
Skip would then insinuate that if he stopped requesting her as a hairdresser, she would lose her job. Skip would disclose to Faraji later on that it was Dixon who disclosed to Skip that Faraji was sleeping with Shannon, which she denied to be true. Now, Faraji also alleges that there are text messages from Skip discussing the situation in which she denied sleeping with Shannon. These text messages have yet to surface to the public and are again unproven like the rest of the case. But as most of these allegations are he said, she said arguments, if either the bugged conversation was skipped or the text messages surface, it certainly is going to be substantial in proving the allegations, or in the case that they aren't available, disproving points of her story. As Undisputed would end in August 2024, Skip would make somewhat of a silent exit from the company, and so would Faraji as Fox claimed her services were no longer needed. Faraji claims that Dixon provided her to Skip as just a plaything after she had a falling out with Joy Taylor, and once Skip was gone, so was she. Now, like I said before, she had filed causes of action for sexual battery for Charlie Dixon, for his groping of her at the party, as well as Skip for his lingering hugs and kisses on the cheek. She is also suing Fox for hiring these people, is moving for them to be removed in Joy Taylor and Dixon, and is also pursuing Fox for allowing such actions to take place under their roof. Fox Sports responded to the allegations essentially saying nothing, other than they take the situation very seriously. Skip Bayless has said nothing about these allegations. Acho and Joy Taylor have also not spoken about the allegations. However, they were in fact back in the studio like normal. Now, for the millionth time, these are allegations and should be treated like that, until proven Faraji's story is unsubstantiated. But that hasn't stopped the internet from running absolutely wild with this one. It seems Joy Taylor has gotten the majority of the heat, although all of the allegations from her fucking up the totem pole to ignoring the harassment of her friends to planning on weaponizing fake allegations are all entirely unproven as of this moment. Women sleeping their way up the workplace isn't exactly unusual, and sadly neither is weaponizing allegations. So once the internet got a peep that the girl who was dressing provocatively in the workplace on Undisputed was up to something like this, I think subconsciously everyone kind of had the Jason Whitlock response. Now when it comes to Skip, I mean, claiming that he was willing to throw $1.5 million to get some ass while married is pretty insane. As many people have already called bullshit on the allegations, that could very well be the case. That would certainly discredit the rest of the claims made. As we sit right now, this is the story that is yet to be proven or disproven, but has certainly managed to shake up the sports world in the meantime. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace out.
Yeah. I mean, it does make sense with her, like, just coming out of nowhere and shooting up to the top. Those make sense, but to say this man that's married is willing to throw $1.5 million at me to sleep with me, that's kind of pushing it. You're kind of pushing it. But then again, allegations. We'll never know. Why the hell am I extremely dark? Nobody told me I was dark. It's fine. I'll just brighten up the video. But yeah, man. Appreciate everybody for watching, man. This was a pretty good reaction. We 22 minutes in. So I will see you guys in the next video, man. Till the next time. Actually, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Told you I'm posting every day except the weekends. I also made a post showing my my upload schedule. Friday there will be no videos. That will be when I'm doing an overhaul of my PC. I'll be putting in new parts and all that. So Friday would be no videos. Saturday I may try to stream. Just kind of see how the parts are gonna handle streaming and all that. But yeah, man. Catch you boys later, man. Peace.